Hello and welcome back to the channel where, as you can tell by the title, yes, I'm doing once again my top 5 favorite, not top 5, my top 10 favorite Doctor Who episodes. Because I did do this before, but it was a top 5. I'd done that when I had started or before I started to do my rewatch of the franchise from series 1 to series 10 last year. And so I decided to update this. Will I include classic Doctor Who episodes? More than likely not, but I think I might do a top 10 classic Doctor Who episodes, differentiate between the two. Two-parters will be counted as one part for this list. So, like, say, for example, the Satan Pit and the Beast Below, that will be counted as one story. The same with um, the Doctor Falls and World Enough in Time. That will be classed as one story. So yeah, sit back and enjoy. So let's start off with my number 10.
Alright, so number 10 is Turn Left. So this did appear on my original top 5 favorite Doctor Who episodes, and now that I'm doing a top 10, I think it fits perfectly at number 10 because whilst yes, I do love this story and I think it's one of the best from series 4, even better than Midnight in my opinion. Um I there's just a lot more stronger episodes on my list that I'm including now that I have finished my full rewatch of the show last year. So, yeah, why do I love this? Well, because it's an interesting what if theory on what if the Doctor actually died, and what if, Donna never met the Doctor. And we see that play out, and it's dark. It is like super, super dark. Like everyone the Doctor would have met, Martha dies, um, Sarah Jane dies. Uh, Captain most of Torchwood is dead, and Captain Jack is kidnapped and brought to the Sontaran home planet to be continuously tortured, killed, and he comes back. Yada yada yada, and it's very interesting because as well, the spaceship Titanic that successfully crash lands in on Buckingham Palace, wiping out London. So a lot of people who lived in London are now refugees. So, like I said, it's a very dark but brilliant episode from Series 4 that then leads us into the two-part series finale, which also it has Rose Tyler coming back because we've seen snippets of her throughout Series 4, and now we actually get a full episode with her in it. So yeah, that's my number 10. So number 9 is another one that appeared on my original top 5 favorite Doctor Who list, and that is The Doctor's Wife. So why is this on my list? Well, it's probably one of the few episodes that I actually really enjoy from Series 6. Even after my rewatch of it last year, I don't think Series 6 is all that great. It's too convoluted. There's so many plot threads that basically amount to nothing, kind of like the new season of Doctor Who. But The Doctor's Wife is what has always been one of my favorite episodes because it's an interesting episode of what if you take the heart and soul of the TARDIS and actually put it into a human body, and actually getting to see the Doctor being able to speak to the TARDIS, and the TARDIS be able to speak back to the Doctor. And it also, finally it shows us again the old console room, and we get that cool junkyard TARDIS design, which I do own as a set. They actually did do that, and I believe that the set itself was designed by a fan, or the toy itself was designed by a fan from Blue Peter. I'm not 100% sure, but that memory just flicked back into my mind here. But it's all honestly one of the few good episodes from Series 6, and it's one that I like to return to every now and again. So, number 8 is the first modern regeneration story and a fantastic series finale being Bad Wolf / The Parting of Ways. So this episode, these two parts has been what the entire first series of Doctor Who has been building up to. We get more information about Bad Wolf in The Parting of Ways, but not only that, we have the Daleks again, and not just one Dalek, we have an entire army of Daleks and a fucking Dalek Emperor to boot. Like that scene when in The Parting of Ways, when the Doctor lands on the main Dalek ship and we get introduced to the Dalek Emperor, where he has gone absolutely mad thinking he's a god, is amazing. Now, Bad Wolf itself is kind of a little bit dated because of the shows that it covers. Like Big Brother UK, it has come back to TV, um, and the Weakest Link is still going, but just without Anne at the moment. So I think as the years go on, Bad Wolf is going to be heavily dated for like the TV show side of things, but it's still a fantastic episode, and it's one of Christopher Eccleston's best in the short amount of time we actually had with him. And it's a pretty good regeneration story, if you ask me, and a pretty good Dalek story. And yet again, another one that was on my original list that I posted last year or 2022, whichever. I think it was 2022. Anyway, Human Nature / The Family of Blood is one of my favorite episodes from series 3. I remember it was even like in the newspapers of they were going to turn the Doctor human for this two-parter, and it's a phenomenal episode. Like David Tennant acting human in this is a perfect performance. I have no bad things to say about it. And fun fact, this episode was actually based off of a Seventh Doctor book that was released during the Wilderness years. That got adapted for these two-part stories, and like there's the end scene of the Fury of a Time Lord. Like everybody loves that scene because it is such a great scene and a great Time Lord victorious hint. With what the Doctor did to the family. They wanted to live forever. Well, the Doctor sure as shit made sure that they did in the worst way possible, but still they got to live forever, kind of. In a comic, we do see the 13th Doctor go and free Sister of Mine, but hey, that's a non-canon comic. So yeah, Human Nature and the Family of Blood is a phenomenal story, and it's why it's on my list. Oxygen is an episode that I have loved since it first aired, and I love Series 10. I really do. Series 10 of Doctor Who is some of the best Doctor Who we ever got. After this, the show's kind of declined in quality for me. So this was season 10 is the last great season, and this episode alone is absolutely amazing. It's got a capitalist mind where you have to pay for oxygen, and then they're like, oh, it's actually cheaper to quote unquote kill these people, so that way we don't have to supply oxygen, and we could just have these zombies things do it, and we save a whole bunch of money. It's a great episode because Bill, again quote unquote, dies, but her suit is so bollocks that she actually thankfully survives, because Bill is one of my favorite companions. I really wish she had stayed on for another season. The same with Capaldi, but that's either here nor there. And it has consequences, The Doctor goes blind halfway through the episode, and that's just not fixed at the end of the episode. That's something that still lingers for 3 more episodes. It's not until the end of the second episode in the Monk trilogy that the Doctor's blindness gets cured. So it had consequences for halfway through this episode, all of Extremis and all of the second episode of the Monk trilogy. So it's really great. It's a fantastic story, and I wish we got more like it. Yet another story that had appeared on my original list, my original top five list, The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit, stuck with me so much when these two parts came out. Because I remember vividly sitting down, eating pizza, and watching part one to this story. And I was very intrigued, with the whole Toby Zed possessed, the Ood. This is the first appearance of the Ood. And it wasn't until the voice actor for the Beast slash now Sutek came back that I learned that he was the voice of Sutek as well as the Beast. So that blew my mind because I just didn't know about that until Sutek came back for the newest season of Doctor Who. But yeah, this is a great story. It's a base under siege type of story where the TARDIS is gotten rid of pretty early on in the opening scene of The Impossible Planet. And it's all these questions of, is this really the devil? Is this, is this actually him? You know, um, and even now, it's been nearly 20 years since this episode aired, and the Beast effects CGI still holds up in my honest opinion. So the 11th hour is just peak Doctor Who. It is honestly one of the perfect jumping on points for new fans, and it's a great post regeneration story, and Matt Smith is honestly really great in this story. Like it's what got me to really like his Doctor. And like I said, series 5 of Doctor Who is a fucking perfect season. I don't have any issues with any of the episodes, and it's okay if you do. But to me, it's a perfect season, and the 11th hour is a perfect episode from start to finish. There's a real lingering threat. Granted, it's one of those threats that is on a time limit, which has been overdone at this point in New Who, mainly due to Chris Chibnall, but not. This was done by Stephen Moffat, and it's what actually gave us a hope that Doctor Who was in the correct hands, because they initially, when Russell wanted to step away and David Tennant wanted to step away, they were initially going to cancel the show, but thankfully they didn't, and the show has continued on for better or for worse, depending on who you ask. But not only did this episode give us a fantastic new Doctor, it gave us a fantastic and sexy new companion in Amelia Pond, played by Karen Gillan. And it also introduced us to her boyfriend and later husband, Rory Williams, played by Arthur Darvill. And it's just it's perfect from beginning to end. Like I said, I have no issues whatsoever. I love the tweed jacket. I love the first iteration of the TARDIS. And yeah, I absolutely love this episode. So, Under the Lake slash Before the Flood is one of my favorite episodes from series 9. And because it's a great mystery, the cold open of them finding this ship, and some people looking at it, at this weird scratching on the hull, which then kickstarts, these ghosts coming back to kill the people of the underwater base. And if they kill you, you come back as one of these ghosts to try and convert more people to do it. And then, of course, the Doctor and Clara come. They see it, so they get roped in. And it's very interesting because they can only come out at night. Now, like I said in my original video that I done, Under the Lake was one of the first Doctor Who episodes, if memory serves correct, to ever give me a nightmare. I remember actually not long after this episode airing that I did have a nightmare about something, basically relating to this story. And as I said, the scream of the Fisher King was done by lead singer Corey Taylor of the band Slipknot. Because I didn't know that he was a massive Doctor Who fan, and of course his son was also a massive Doctor Who fan, except Corey obviously wouldn't show him the scary bits. So yeah, it's one of the few great episodes from series 9. Series 9 as a whole is a mixed bag, mainly with the Shielder stuff, but this two-parter was a fantastic two-parter, and again, I wish we had more like it. And runner-up goes to the first Dalek story of modern Doctor Who, because what a fucking story. You know, I often said after I got into Doctor Who, my mother went out and bought Series 1, Volume 2 of the show, and that had the episodes Aliens of London, World War III, and Dalek. And I would watch those three episodes religiously, especially Dalek, because what a fucking episode. What a brilliant reintroduction, I should say, to the Doctor's oldest, greatest foe in the show's history. And it is adapted from a Big Finish audio called Jubilee, a Six Doctor serial, which I did listen to, and it's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, just the fact that this lone Dalek is able to basically murk everyone off in this big, massive collector's space. Um, the funny thing is, though, this Dalek, when it goes to search for others, there is a bit of a plot hole in the fact that this story takes place in 2012, and there was definitely Daleks around in 2012, but apparently just this one lone surviving Dalek from the Time War just isn't able to find them. Um, so that is kind of like a plot hole now, like as the show has continued on. But aside from that little plot hole, this story, like I said, is fantastic. It's making the Doctor deal with the trauma from the Time War, you know, the effects after the fact. uh and it's again one of Christopher Eccleston's best performances, in my opinion. Is it any surprise that World Enough in Time slash The Doctor Falls is my favorite Doctor Who story of all time? I mean, how many times have I said this? You know, it is not only the perfect Cyberman story, but it is, in my opinion, had the show ended here, it would have been the perfect ending. What do I mean by that? Well, because of the fact that the Doctor essentially goes out, basically saving as many people as he possibly can. You know, he essentially does the thing that I think if the Doctor were to die, properly die, this would be the perfect way to do it because he's going out saving people. What's the one thing the Doctor always does? Save people. And it's a fucking sad death for Bill. Like I said, I love Bill. She's one of my favorite companions. And the fact that in the first minute and a half, roughly, of this story, she gets shot and killed. Well, we think she got shot and killed. Well, she did get shot, but she didn't get killed. She actually gets converted into a Mondasian Cyberman. And just the final seconds of World Enough in Time fucking broke me, of Bill basically saying, I waited, I waited, I waited for you. And then it shows us the inside of the mask, and we see Bill's face, and there's a tear that drops, and oh, what a fucking ending to a two-parter. Now, this is a multi-master story, and I don't necessarily like John Sims in this story. Like, he's okay, but, you know, Missy definitely is the better of the two, in my opinion. But hey, that's just my opinion. You're free to have your own opinion.
And that is going to wrap this video up. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comments down below. And let me know what your current favorite Doctor Who episode is at this point in time. And I shall catch you all on the next upload, which is a Monday upload of the 2017 Power Rangers movie. I haven't watched it since seeing it in cinema. Uh, it's nearly 7 years ago, or actually over 7 years ago now, just slightly. So I'll see you all on Monday for that one.